Good morning, Wolfman fans. Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are doing great out there. To those of you who have to work this Saturday, hey man, sorry for your luck, but hey man, make that money. And I'm sure you get your own days off at some point during the week. In fact, if you're working on Saturdays, you're probably off. Most likely, at least one of the days you're off is probably on a weekday, which actually makes is actually kind of helpful. Everybody else gets to sit around and be jealous of the fact that they have to go to work and you get to sleep in if you're the kind of person that sleeps in. I know I am, but anyway, you also get to go run around and if you have bills and errands you have to run, most all the places that you need to go to get these errands completed, wherever they may be, are going to be open because it's a weekday. So that's actually kind of cool. Oh, it does suck though when all the rest of your friends and family are off on the weekend and you're stuck at work. So it has its pros and cons. But anyways, that's not what I came here to talk about. Since Thanksgiving just passed, I'd like to talk about that for just a minute. So, we've been seeing a lot of articles and videos and whatnot pop up across various social media platforms, be it Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or what have you, that all seem to say the same kind of general thing. And sometimes those generalities of Thanksgiving that those little points they're trying to make, sometimes they're split up by topics. Sometimes it's all thrown at you in one big, like it's almost like they vomited out every notion about Thanksgiving. And what I mean, and I think some of you at this point are aware of what I'm talking about, is how racism is the basis for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a racist holiday. It's a holiday that celebrates white supremacy. It's a holiday that celebrates, destruction of the indigenous people of this land and us our systematically wiping them out. Which, by the way, if that was indeed our goal, we did a really poor job of it because we didn't do that. We were not successful. Yes, and I will admit, I can admit this openly that there were a lot of atrocities that happened to the Native Americans by white settlers. It did happen. Now, that's not to say that this was in any way an isolated incident. Um, Native Americans had been, killing and conquering each other and enslaving each other for a long time before we got into it. Um, Point blank, that's just the way of the world. That's the way the world has happened. You know, excuse me, I've got a little bit of my nose is a little stopped up. Anyway, the world is the way it is now because of uh, conquest. Conquest was unfortunate. It was a thing. These countries that exist nowadays didn't just pop up out of nothing, and America, for some reason, was the only one that uh, was created through conquest and using slavery and stuff like that. We're not an outlier by any means. But speaking specifically about Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving, look, at face value, Thanksgiving, the way we see it today, yeah, no, in school they talk about pilgrims and this whole thing. But as an adult, me, 34, going to going to hang out with my family and spend time with my family on Thanksgiving, this is what this day is about. It is about things we're thankful for. Being thankful, because I feel like we spend a lot of time running around being generally ungrateful for what we have. And this is the one day of the year that we sit down and we contemplate the things that we have, the blessings in our lives. Even the small things. I'm thankful I have a car that works. Excuse me, I promise I don't have the COVID. I just I just have a couple of dogs and they're shedding, so it kind of gets you stopped up. Those of you who have pets know what I'm talking about. Um, anyways, you go through Thanksgiving. You're supposed to have an air of thankfulness. And you're supposed to be take that day to be grateful for the things you have. I'm thankful I have a car. I might not have the greatest house in the world right now, but I'm thankful I have a house. I'm thankful that I have food on my table. I'm thankful for my family. Some people don't even have that much going for them. And then, of course, I'm thankful for the food. Thanksgiving is, say what you want about it, but it is a traditional American holiday where we sit around and eat a massive spread of food and then watch football. Now, I don't partake in the football watching part because I'm not a huge professional football fan. I might sit down and watch it just for the hell of it, but I wouldn't call myself a fan. In fact, I spend actually more of Thanksgiving sitting around the table and having conversation with my mom, my brother, my wife, my sister-in-law, and my father-in-law, and us sitting around and enjoying each other's company, which is something we don't get to do very often. We're thankful for the fact that we actually have this time to sit down, enjoy a meal together, and just have a good time and talk. Something we don't get to do very often because we're just, we're usually swamped and by our own daily lives. And we live in different places, so that's just the way it is. That's what most of us see it as. Well, of course, we get to eat a ton of food, and it's great food, so that you don't eat usually for the rest of the entire year. Nobody eats cranberry sauce on the daily. Like for my family, we have like broccoli casserole or there's green bean casserole, and those don't come out except for like you have them like maybe 3 times a year. You have them on Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Is the only times that you might see those deviled eggs. Who eats deviled eggs on any other day but a holiday, some kind of holiday? Oh, it's just a random Thursday in August. I felt like making deviled eggs. No, that doesn't happen. But anyway, I digress. The thing is that people like to sit there and these are the same people that can't stop talking about how racist America is. They go out of their way to tell you and everybody else how racist this, that, or the other thing is. How these things are sexist. They'll go out of their way to ruin everything that you love. And point blank, the reason is because these people in and of themselves are miserable in their own lives. For whatever reason that they are, I don't know. We can't ever get to the foundation and the bottom core of their issues and maybe try to help these people be not so miserable in life because they won't stop talking about this other crap. They won't let you know why they are miserable. They project. That's the problem. So you end up with again, a bunch of miserable people trying to run around and make everybody else's life as miserable as theirs is. So they destroy things that you love. They tried to destroy 4th of July, talking about how it's how this country was never great. And this is a celebration of racism. That kind of thing. They talk about same thing about Thanksgiving. It's a celebration of white supremacy and white people coming from Europe and annihilating the indigenous population through warfare and slavery and by spreading diseases, as if, because, and this is the crazy thing. This is what I want you guys to understand. We didn't come over here and, for one, decide that we were going to wipe out the natives. That was not the decision. In fact, we tried to come over here and coexist with them. Yeah, we tried to carve out our own little area, but we had to try. We knew that we would have to try to work with these people and try to live amongst them. The problem we were having in many cases, and this didn't happen all over the place. Actually, in several places where we set up colonies, that simply wasn't the case. The natives were actually peaceful, and we were able to get along with them. But in some places it just didn't work out that way, and natives were violent and attacked our people. But I can tell you what certainly we didn't do is come over here and try to wipe them out using some kind of germ warfare. The idea that we weaponized diseases so we could attack these people and wipe them out is an insane notion, because that's not something that would come into, that's not something that would be, that we would have done. That's not something that would even happen, it would even occur to anybody for another 100 years or so. Nobody thought about it. And by the way, I'm spitballing that time frame. I don't know whether it's longer or shorter, but my point is, at that time, germ warfare and biological warfare, that kind of thing, did not exist. It was not a thing. And they say, oh, smallpox blankets. We gave them smallpox blankets. Like we put took a jar with some smallpox and dumped it on a blanket, and then we gave it to them. Okay, well, that didn't happen. What happened was there's a lot of diseases that ran rampant through Europe that people in Europe had contracted. Many had died from. That's the nature of diseases. But over time, people built up immunities. They became immune to these different diseases, or at least they weren't affected by them in such a heavy capacity. So when these people came over, and yes, they may have carried the germs of these different diseases over. That happened. The natives who had never experienced these diseases were all of a sudden exposed to it. And yes, that was terrible. It sucked. But we didn't do it intentionally. It's not something that we wanted to do. And you can blame us for it. Sure, you can blame the white people, the white European settlers. You can blame them for it. Because, yeah, sure, it was their fault. But you guys act like they did it intentionally. Like we came over here with every intent to wipe you off the face of the map, and that's just not the case. And you know what? We're going to get this again at Christmas, guys. They're going to talk about how Christmas is a holiday celebrating white supremacy. They're going to talk about how it's a Christian holiday, and that it marginalizes people of like non-Christian faiths, like Islam and Judaism and whatever other faiths and their religious practices, which it doesn't. Yes, it is one of the most celebrated holidays on the face of this planet. Everybody loves Christmas, except in some parts of the world. But I think just majority of people have decided that they love Christmas. In fact, there's a lot of non-religious people that still celebrate Christmas, and they don't have a problem with it. I know atheists that love Christmas, and they're not those people walking around demanding that you say Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas. They're not the ones that get offended because you mentioned Christmas, which has the prefix Christ, alluding to a day of Christ that is supposed to be the day of Christ's birth. We say this, and yes, those of us who are Christians, we do recognize it for its religious significance, for its spiritual significance. But just because you don't believe in Christ don't go out and screw somebody else's holiday up. I don't go up to Jewish people and tell them that celebrating Hanukkah is offensive, or Yom Kippur, or, the other myriad holidays that they have. I don't go up and tell them that their holidays are offensive because specifically I'm not Jewish. No, that'd be really messed up. And in fact, I would be branded anti-Semitic for doing it. But you can't be branded anti-Christian or bad or messed up or wrong or anything like that for saying that Christmas is offensive. Because being Christian nowadays is offensive. Being white is offensive. Being a male is offensive. Basically, break it down Barney style. If you're a white Christian male, sorry. Oh, and straight for that too. If you're a straight white Christian male, sorry, you're shit out of luck. And no, you're the only one that can be racist, sexist, homophobic. Nobody else can. The problem is that this world is failing to realize that everybody's a bunch of assholes. We all are. We are all guilty of being assholes to one another. And what's worse is you have people that think for whatever reason that their shit don't stink. So they're going to walk around and try to be the arbiters of what is acceptable speech. Well, screw y'all. Guess what? I'm not gay. I am a Christian. I am white. I'm also a fucking Army veteran. You know what I don't have problems with? People who aren't Christian. People who are gay. Or trans. Hey, you want to be trans? I'm going to be honest with you. In my eyes, it's still weird. We have not reached the point of social acceptance with the trans thing yet to where it's not weird. Gays, y'all guys accomplished that. Congratulations. The transsexuals, y'all haven't reached the point where it's a normal thing. It's still odd to us. I'm sorry, it is what it is. Accept it and move on. But look, if that's your personal life choice for your lifestyle, who am I to tell you no? Do what you want to do. This is a free country, and you are free to express, to go out there and express yourself. And it's that whole life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness thing. You are allowed to it. You're entitled to it. As long as you don't infringe on other people's, i.e. mine or anybody else's, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Do what you will. So, yeah, look, I accept you as a trans person. So, non-Christians, that means Muslims, Jews, Shinto, whatever. And yes, I can name other religions. I'm just on a rant here, so I'm not worried about any other religions right now. Any other religion, I don't care. If you're Hindu or Buddhist or whatever, I accept you. I accept you if you're gay or trans. Do what you will with your life. It is your life, and I have no right to tell you that it's wrong. Okay? Do your thing. Anybody black, Hispanic, or Latino, or whatever y'all call yourselves now, the Latin people, Asians, Native Americans, Indians, Middle Easterners, y'all guys, I have no problem with you. Just as long as you, again, have no problems with me. You guys, women, I'm a married man. Obviously, I love women. I'm married one. I have no problem with women. Where I start having a problem, and where all of y'all should start having a problem, is when these miserable sons of bitches walk into your life and try to tell you how you are doing things wrong and how you should be living your life because they said so. That includes politicians talking about COVID and trying to limit your holiday gatherings to just your immediate household. You know that they ain't doing it. They're doing whatever the hell they want. Rules for thee, but not for me. That's the case. Don't let anybody tell you how to live your damn life and how many people you can have at your house or the family that you can visit on the holiday. Don't let them tell you that. Stand up against that nonsense and tell them, no, we're not doing that. And when these other people come up and go, you can't wear a Native American headdress on Halloween because that's racist, tell them to go get a life. Because these are miserable individuals. And they will thrive off of trying to make you miserable in your life. Look, I'm going on a rant, but I think you get my point at this point. So, it is, again, Saturday. I hope you guys are having a great day. I know I'm having a great day. I'm going to head to the gun range today. I'm looking forward to it. Going to get some trigger therapy. It's going to be fun. I do have a couple errands to run, so that sucks. But all the same, it's a start to a great day. I hope you guys are going to have a wonderful day as well. And, again, don't let nobody tell you they're better than you. Don't let anybody try to run your life. That's the way it goes. Tell them to fuck off. Anyway, that's all I got for this week. I hope you guys are doing great, and we'll see you in the next video. But until then, I guess take it easy and stay awesome. And yeah, that's it. Later.